So I really enjoyed making this podcast. Really dove into this whole idea of like the difference between like recommending self-treatment versus self-care. This kind of came out of like kind of watching what's going on out there, especially in like the social media world with all these people that are teaching people how to like diagnose and fix their own injury, and a lot of problems with that. And usually I ignore stuff like that too, because most of these people are just very absurd that are out there telling people that they can fix their problem by smashing or rolling or stretching or anything else out there. But I started seeing this more and more, especially this week on LinkedIn. I saw that there was like some courses being taught by other massage therapists, like teaching people how to do self-treatment on their own. And I was like, man, this is missing the ball of where it's going and missing the spot, because at the end of the day, if you're recommending people how to treat themselves, they're never going to look at you as a viable option for their pain and become a solutions provider. And you're really missing the ball. So in this episode, I kind of go in and really explain like what's going on, what I see from just not just like the online presence, but what the mindset is of massage therapists going forward, give you some tactics and some things that we do in our own clinics to really make sure that instead of recommending self-treatment, you start recommending self-care. Because if you're recommending self-treatment, it's actually killing your business and causing you from being able to get where you need to go. And it's way worse for your clients. So I hope you guys enjoy the show. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Soft Tissue Revolution podcast. Dr. Matt Maggio here. Thank you for stopping by and listening and supporting the show. Have a really good one today. As the intro said, talking about the difference between recommending self-treatment versus self-care and how the difference can make or break your massage business and practice. So just a couple housekeeping notes. I'm going to put this in the front instead of the end because people trail off at the end. And I get a lot of questions and people asking me about my system, the peak method, where to learn more, if we do continuing education credits, if we have training, we're doing live, all that stuff. And the answer is yes, we do all of that. And if you do want to get access to that, all the information is in the show notes. If you have questions specifically that you'd like us to cover or topics we want to address for our most popular segments, the Q&A, send that message to the email listed below. And if you want that free training as well, like learning how to critically think and figuring out problems and getting on that first step to becoming a solutions provider, all that's in the show notes. So that's just my housekeeping. So let's get right into the podcast today. I took some notes so I don't get too ranty. Sometimes I get a little ranty and really can just keep going down a rabbit's hole of a lot of things. And then I start swearing and cussing and all that. I got a good message today from someone on LinkedIn that said, keep swearing, keep being fully transparent and saying whatever's on your mind. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. I'm trying to clean up my language, but sometimes I just can't control it and shit just flies out of my mouth. There we go right there. I said shit. Now we have to hit explicit, but I like this to be an explicit podcast. So self-care versus self-treatment. So what's the problem? So the problem that I'm seeing is that everyone out there is an expert on the internet. They have a YouTube channel, they have an Instagram channel, they're on Facebook, they do something, they write a blog, and all of a sudden they're an expert, especially when it comes to complex musculoskeletal injuries. I see this all the time, and it's an absurd level of jackassery. See, I just made up that word, jackassery, out there of all these people pretending that they're an expert in teaching people how to treat their issue, how to fix their problem, to solve their injury from home with a lacrosse ball, with some magic stretches or exercises, with some magic vitamin, with a magical CBD oil, all that kind of stuff. Just plug in whatever you want. Everyone out there is a fucking guru and an expert, and social media has given these people a voice and a platform, even though they have no credentials and no credibility. I've been very outspoken for years about this, about the fix yourself movement. I did that in quotes, like fix yourself, because you can't fix your own injury regardless of what all these people say on the internet. And the problem with the fix yourself movement is you're not actually fixing anything. And it's causing bigger problems. I'm seeing personal trainers come into this space as well. The idea of like they're going to diagnose the injury, figure out what's going on, and put you through a series of exercises and movements and fix your injury. That's just malarkey. Malarkey. I haven't used that word in a long time. That shows that I'm getting old. I'll be 36 here in a couple more months, but malarkey. Yeah, that is some malarkey. But they're coming into the space, and you're seeing this a lot too. You see this with like the physical therapists. You know, they usually aren't very good with their hands. I've talked about this in past podcasts of like how they don't really want to touch anyone. They want to fix everything with exercise and stuff like that. And you'll see these videos where they start. It's like usually some dickhead or dick woman where they're showing like a lacrosse ball and a foam roller and they're like, these 5 steps to like fix your whatever. There's even a guy on YouTube, I can't stand him. He's called like the Smash RX guy, where he just tells you to smash the shit out of stuff with lacrosse balls and he'll fix everything. There's some dick noses on Instagram and YouTube called Move You, where they say you can fix your own shit from home. I've been very outspoken about the supple leopard and all that, but this isn't me unloading all the people that I have a gripe with. Clearly, I have a gripe with a lot of people. But the problem with the fix yourself movement is you're missing a window of opportunity. We always say with our clients that come into the office, there's always a window of opportunity for us to get in there and fix your injury with good, hands-on, quality, soft tissue treatment. Clearly the most effective mode of treatment out there. So there's always a window of opportunity. But with a lot of these fix yourself things, they're missing out. They're not actually getting real treatment. They're getting their symptoms alleviated, but any treatment that only fixes symptoms and doesn't improve function is dangerous. So then it goes into, I'm still on the problem side of this. It goes into the problem side of massage therapists where I talk to. And a lot of times they get into this mode where they start apologizing for treatment. Like they feel bad when they tell a client that they need to come in more often, or, hey, they're having pain. Like, let's make sure that you come in and let me fix it. Like, you are the key to fixing it. That is where you are a true solutions provider. You're not a service provider. And I keep saying that over and over again. People need to know when they're in pain and they're having an injury that they need to come in and see you, because you're going to be able to solve their problem. I remember I had a person on LinkedIn, I think it was like 5 or 6 months ago, where I talked about the problem of like recommending like self-treatment. And this person was like, well, I want my clients to feel empowered. And, you know, some people have tight money on budgets and they can't afford to come in, and I want them to be able to fix themselves. So I'm like, that's your own bullshit. That's your own bullshit, like broke ass mindset where you're like, oh, I feel bad about treatment and do this, but you're poor, you're not able to do that, and you're not able to provide value. If you don't take care of your own stuff and you don't charge accordingly for what you believe in, all you're really saying is when you're cheap or you're free is that you don't have anything of value to the market. Think of all the shit that people pay money for. And when it comes to injuries and it comes to actually feeling better, to their health, to their wellness, like they shouldn't cheap out on this shit, but they do. And they want to play like, let's make a deal. And you do that as well with your clients as well. So like, be the most expensive in what you do, but be the most expensive because you actually have something of true value and something that is different from everyone else out there, a true niche, something that is very unique. So that's the problem I'm seeing out there. A bunch of idiots that are like pretending to be doctors and therapists across the board, the whole fix yourself movement, lacrosse balls. Then when you tell people to actually do these things yourself, you're devaluing what you do. So I'm going to kind of push the envelope a little bit more. So I'm real active on LinkedIn, and people that find me on LinkedIn, I like LinkedIn because there's not as much drama on there. I like to market and do stuff for my clinics and things like that through Facebook and Instagram. But as far as like learning and connecting with other like-minded individuals, that's why I liked LinkedIn. But I was scrolling through the other day and I saw a course taught by a massage therapist through LinkedIn where they were teaching self-massage, that you can like show other people self-massage. And here's how to self-massage yourself. Like, does that even make fucking sense? It doesn't. What it's doing is it's devaluing the care, and it's not making that. You continue to wonder why massage had been, and I'm talking about traditional massage, has been deemed non-essential because it doesn't look like something that's actually fixing anything. It's more of a luxury, relaxation, all that stuff. And we know that there is a place for that, but people truly want to get their injury fixed, and that happens with actually figuring out what's going on. So let's define what a treatment really is. A treatment is something that actually reduces a problem, what I call pathology. So I have a whole training where I go through the 7 problems in the human body. I'm going to rattle them out. There can only be, in a musculoskeletal injury, a bone problem, a cartilage problem, a disc problem, a ligament problem, a nerve entrapment problem, a soft tissue problem, and a tendon problem. And if you're not doing something to fix one of those areas, which is actually getting in there and treating it, you're not doing anything. So that's what treatment is. Now, this is what a lot of people end up recommending. They're like, do this treatment. It's not treatment because you're not fixing anything. I have a whole podcast where I talk about what a treatment is. It should be safe, effective, and durable. So take that through that. Like, is jamming a lacrosse ball into your neck when you're having a lot of pain, is it safe, effective, is it durable? I don't think it's really that. It can be safe. It's not going to do a whole lot, but it sure as shit ain't effective and it's not durable. So if you're recommending these things because you feel bad and you want the client to be empowered to not have to come in when they need you, like, oh man, you're missing the boat. Another problem I always see, and this is what I'm working on with massage therapists, is getting you to the point where you're going to be looked at as a viable healthcare provider. Think about it. Like, people will go to chiropractors, they'll go to physical therapists because they're like, oh, that's a healthcare provider. But massage, you're like, I don't know. You guys are the best in the world. People need hands-on quality soft tissue treatment, but you haven't educated them properly. And when you do shit where you recommend and you show them all these free tools and things like that, you're not doing anything. You're actually affecting your business and getting it from where it can't be. Last one is you're just not confident in your own skills. So if you were confident in your own skills, be like, yeah, your neck is hurting. Here's what's going on. You have this problem. Come on in. I'm going to get you fixed. And this is what it's going to take. Like, letting people know, like being the leader, because at the end of the day, people need to see 2 things from you. They need to know that you're sharp as a tack and a true expert in what you do. And when they don't do that, then they don't take you serious as a healthcare provider. They don't think that you're a viable option for their pain and discomfort. They look at you more as you're like that non-essential, like, treat yourself, and that shit ain't working anymore. So how do we solve this? First off, learn more. Get better skills. Grow in your confidence. You like understanding that, like, just because you took a couple seminars and you finished massage school and you did all these things and you've been doing it for a few years does not mean that you're an expert. You can always be willing to learn and always be willing to learn more. And that's what we teach and that's what we share in the Peak Method training. Next one is just be a leader for your clients. You need to tell them what to do and how you will fix it. They need to look at you as a viable option, a healthcare provider. And that's what people need to understand. And that's where the disconnect is, where people are like, oh, I'm going to recommend this because that I just don't want to, I feel bad. Like, see how I sound all wishy-washy on that? Like, stop that. And another thing that you can start doing right away is call out the bullshit online. Don't support it. Don't share that shit. I was amazed at how many people like that were massage therapists like sharing that training and be like, yeah, here's self-massage to do from home. This is great, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, man, you missed the boat. You really did. Because you're devaluing your treatment for what you do. Now, what else can you do? Understand that you can start recommending what I call self-care. Self-care is different than self-treatment. So what we do in the Peak Method is we have this whole thing we call like our postural transformation program, where we teach people through videos like the importance of proper hydration, breathing patterns, your posture, how to hold your phone up, how to not sit like an asshole, like the importance of getting movement in. Those are self-care type of things. Those are things that help along with conjunction with the treatment, but they're not the treatment themselves. So that's what you need to do, is start to recommend more self-care stuff and educate your clients and be consistent, because that's the problem. And if you keep defaulting back like all these other people are, you're going to be labeled as a commodity, not something that people actually need. When your client is in pain, they feel like shit, they don't know what to do, they need to know in their mind, I am going to go see this person because they're going to fix my injury. And if they don't think that right away, and they look at the lacrosse ball in the corner or the foam roller or some dickhead online that has like a $10 program for that, or they think they're going to go to their personal trainer and get better, that sucks. It sucks for the client because they're missing that window of opportunity to actually get better. And it sucks for you because now you're not able to be taken seriously as a healthcare provider, get the life and business that you want, and get the financial freedom that you truly deserve. Because if you're doing good work, you should never feel bad about what you charge. Think of all the bullshit that people pay for. So that's all I got for today. I tried to keep it about 13 minutes because I do tend to get a little bit ranty. I appreciate you guys listening to the podcast. If you have any ideas you want me to cover or Q&A, follow us on all the channels. I'm very active with everything like that. And I'm always here to help. And I love reaching out and talking to more and more people out there that want to be taken serious as a healthcare provider. I appreciate you guys listening to the podcast and sharing it. If you do, you can give us a whatever, I guess a like or a share or I don't know, 5 stars or whatever. If you really don't like what I have to say, then send me a message too and tell me why I suck. But I'm going to keep plugging away. We're getting more and more downloads from all over the place. And I really enjoy doing this. Hope you guys are doing well. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Thanks so much for listening to the show. If you're a massage therapist and you want to learn more about our new methods that allow you to easily double your income without working any harder or getting burnout, we have some free resources for you. 1, join our Facebook group, The Soft Tissue Revolution. 2, subscribe to our YouTube channel. 3, request our free training series. 4, leave us a 5-star review and share this podcast with anyone else you know it can help. Links to all our channels and free training are in the show notes.